What's going on, guys? Tonight we're going to go ahead and take a look at this Uintah Precision UPR-10 upper and some of the components that I used while shooting and testing it. Let's go ahead and dig into it. Now, to clarify, the UPR-10 is just the upper for an AR-10 lower. What you get with that is your upper receiver, the bolt, your handguard, and your barrel, and then they're going to have a threaded barrel with a thread protector on the end of it. This particular gun that I was testing came with a Luth AR adjustable stock, an Aero Precision AR-10 lower, Hogue rubberized grip, Ride-On Mod 7's 4-20x50 scope, and then this M-Lock handrail with the Harris bipod with Picatinny rail adapter up front, and personally I put a muzzle brake on the end of it. This system utilizes standard AR-10 magazines. I used this metal GI mag the entire time while testing it, and it ran 6.5 Creedmoor and 243 out of it, no problem, no function issues from the magazine. When talking about the action itself, one of your first questions is likely going to be, is the action smooth? The action is smooth, however, it does have a few catches, but what those catches are safety devices.
You'll come back and there's two catches. There's a detent right up here, but then you're also gonna slide the hammer down. But right here it'll free up and then it'll catch again. And what that's doing is there's a little deal back in there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's pushing that hammer back down. So when you get to right here and you pull the trigger, it's holding it on the reset so it can't go off.
Cool.
So these guns, that bolt's designed so that it stays safe, you know, so you can't get it to go off without. You can get it to go off probably about now, but your recoil lugs are engaged.
Cool.
And so it's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah, exactly. Now, when testing this action, I ran it fast and hard, and it seemed to really like that. You can run it slow, and it ejects it just fine, but it really seems to prefer to be run quickly. You get over those notches a little more smoothly when you're running it quick. There's a detent built into the upper, which we'll take a look at, that stops the bolt handle from lifting freely. So right here there's a catch, and then it breaks from the detent. It's very light, but it stops your bolt handle from easily just flopping around while you're carrying your gun. Now, a great feature of this upper receiver is that the Picatinny rail on the top has built-in 20 MOA, which is a great feature for long-range shooters, which is exactly what this gun is directed towards. It's a precision rifle. You're going to be shooting it far. That extra 20 MOA already built into the base is excellent. You can even get a 20 MOA mount and have 40 MOA built into it, giving you extreme range capability, and with the different chamberings available, you can definitely utilize that. Uintah Precision uses a 26-inch schilling barrel, and the profile is called number 5. If you get on Schilling's website, you can find out the exact measurements and specs on this barrel, but it's a semi-heavy barrel. It's definitely not going to be real sensitive to heat. It's definitely a good rigid barrel, and it should definitely lead to good accuracy. With the 26 inches, it's going to help you get higher muzzle velocities and attain farther ranges at supersonic speeds. These Schilling barrels have threaded muzzles, and the threading on them is cut very well. It's a good tight fit. There's no wiggle. If you put a muzzle device on there, it will be secure, it won't wiggle, and it should line up concentrically to the bore. Now, Uintah Precision has come up with a proprietary collar that the bolt lugs lock into. And when they do this, they're actually able to set head spacing from bolt to different barrels. They manufacture all their bolts to such high tolerances that they can set head spacing and ship you a barrel that's correctly head spaced for any of their UPR-10 uppers. In fact, they did this. I had a 243 barrel, which is right here, and then they shipped me a 6.5 Creedmoor barrel. I ran a headspace check, and they both checked perfect. As you can see here, there's an alignment pin to guide into the upper receiver that keeps this in position so that when the bolt is in the action, it lines up correctly and it will lock in correctly. Another reason for having that pin in that specific place is so that the feed ramps of the barrel end up in the correct position as well. As you can see here, the lower portion is the feed ramps, and the other two areas, there are more material there to increase strength. Now this is one of the features I'm most impressed with from this company. Their bolt and the way it's manufactured and the features that this has. This is the heart of the rifle. They put a lot of thought into it, and it all makes really good sense. There are 3 lugs, similar to a Ruger Precision rifle, and so they will go in and lock up and create more locking engagement than a Ruger Precision rifle would. The extractor and plunger are modeled after a Savage Model 10. These parts are not from Savage, but if you happen to break one and you're in Montana, you're nowhere near Uintah Precision, you can go get Savage parts and replace them and it will continue to function. Same story with the firing pin. This is a standard AR-10 firing pin, so if one happens to break or bend, you can replace it effectively and easily. Now taking a look at the back side of the bolt, here's how you would run your action. You would push the bolt forward and lock it down. As you lift it, notice this hook right here. What this does, here's where it would be to fire. It allows your hammer to drop into the bolt. However, once you lift and pull the bolt back, it resets your hammer. As you push it forward, this small hook that hangs down right here blocks the hammer from being able to fall forward. That's what I was discussing earlier. So you are unable to fire until you engage the lugs and lock the bolt in. At that point, the hammer can fall free, hitting your firing pin and sending it downrange. When it comes to the bolt handle, it is anodized aluminum hooked into steel, which is silver soldered into the bolt, and you can see where it is machined in there. I saw rows of these bolts in the manufacturing process. All the edges were extremely sharp and they were manufactured to such high tolerances. I was very impressed. Of course, in the finishing process, they smooth all the corners just enough to make them comfortable to touch, and then they go through and do the coating process on these. The bolt is made out of one piece of steel, and it takes some real machining experience to be able to manufacture something like this out of one piece. They have to drill the firing pin hole through the entire length of this. That's one of the first steps of the process. Towards the lugs on the bolt, you have this hole right here, and what this is that is the female end of the detent that is in the upper receiver. That's what holds your bolt down while your lugs are engaged. When you lift the bolt, you disengage that detent and it allows your bolt to lift freely. Now with having a system where you can swap barrels so easily, having a 243 Winchester, a 308 Winchester, a 6.5 Creedmoor, a 6mm Creedmoor, anything that utilizes that shape head of the case, you're able to use the same bolt when swapping barrels. They will manufacture you a custom bolt face if you so desire. They will do wildcats like the 6.5 short action ultra mag, or just whatever kind of long range round you're looking for that will fit in the AR-10 short action. Now in order for the bolt to pick up the next round in the magazine, it has to dip down into the magazine to scoop it up. That means after firing your last shot, if you try and chamber another round, it will catch on the magazine and your bolt action is unable to move forward unless you remove the magazine. That's good for PRS competitions. You won't load up an empty chamber thinking that you have a round, waste all your time getting set up for a shot, and then hear click. You will know that you're out, and just go ahead and swap out an AR-10 mag. Should be a piece of cake. Run real quick and get back in action. Taking a look at the bottom side of the upper, you can see this silver button right here. That is the detent that helps hold the bolt down. So the question I ask myself on this weapon is, does it do what it has been designed to do? And that is it a good bolt action for an AR-10 lower? It is an excellent bolt action for an AR-10 lower. The bolt is solid, it runs smooth and fast, you can run it quickly, it feeds out of the magazines very well. Switching to a bolt, I would expect to get more accuracy out of it than an AR-10. With factory Hornady ammunition, I shot 3 rounds that was a ragged hole out of a 5-shot group. It was consistently under a minute with factory 140 ELDM bullets. That's all I shot out of it because when I saw the results, no need to mess with anything else. It just shot so well. I took it out, I shot at 700 yards. It did excellent. I took it out again and I shot 1500 yards. Over double the distance, and it shot just as well as it did at 700. This thing shot excellent. It ran excellent. It is excellent. The barrels are awesome. And I know that you can do a few custom things if you'd like to it. You get to run whatever lower that you already have or you want to build for it. You can put any AR-10 trigger in you want. You can run a drum mag with your bolt action if you'd like. You can run whatever grip you want, whatever stock you want. Pop 2 pins, put in 2 pins. You've changed your battle rifle into a bolt action rifle. It's got 20 MOA built into the top. It's made of top-notch American-made materials. And it's accurate. It does everything I would ask this gun to do. And I think it's an excellent system. I would highly recommend it. I think it's great. I really appreciate Uintah Precision for sending out a rifle for me to test. Thanks very much, guys.
I was able to take this rifle out on a few shooting trips. I shot over 80 rounds through it, and it proved to be very reliable and accurate the entire time. The weight of the rifle is very manageable and helps in reducing recoil while still being light enough to carry it around. Any questions you have, go ahead and drop them in the comments section, or feel free to email Uintah Precision or find them on any of their social medias like Instagram or Facebook. We should definitely be able to get your questions answered. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. We'll talk to you later.